We're here with Brian Wong, founder and CEO of Kiip, straight off the stage at IAB Mobile Marketing event. Thank you so much for being here.
No worries, thank you.
Briefly, would you describe what Kiip does and the problem that it solves for marketers?
Absolutely. So Kiip is a rewards network. We're leveraging the moments in mobile games and being able to tie the positive achievement feeling with these moments to brands through rewards. So imagine leveling up in a game and getting a free latte from Starbucks.
That would be pretty cool. Do you consider yourself at all an ad network if you're making connections with the game developers and connecting them with the advertisers?
So we consider ourselves a rewards network. We are, a network. It looks like, feels like, sounds like, eats like, barks like a network, but it's not actually an ad network. It's a rewards network. And so we wanted to position ourselves so people wouldn't mistake, because we use a different metric as well. We don't use CPMs, we use CPEs. It's a little different in how we modify and sort of curate our network as well. The brands that we bring in, we choose. The developers we bring in, we choose as well, at least initially. And so how we're building this out, I think, is going to be very different, and that's how we differentiate ourselves.
What are the metrics you're using? You talked about emotional ROI and happiness moments. I mean, how do you really pin the value on a moment?
So what we are truly seeing as a beauty of achievements is you're almost guaranteeing that someone's happy, right? So we've found this formula where you can hit these achievements where people are doing something great. And with that being said, we know that the emotion's already baked in. So with that also being said, you now have a metric that you look at and how people respond when they're in those emotional states. And that would either be how people respond to the rewards as click-throughs or redemptions, and then also through sort of how they share and how they interact with it in the first place. So there are things that we look at, and then of course on the pricing mechanism is a CPE, like I'd mentioned, cost per engagement, and it's true engagement because it's dependent on how they actually want to interact with it. If I want that reward, I will redeem it. And you saw in the video, you're able to tap on them and show the reward as you please. And if you don't want it, it goes away.
That brings me to another question of what if you don't want it? Do the brands ask for anything else, like access to your email box or anything like that in return for this gift they're giving you?
Absolutely not. So if you don't want to interact, in fact, we don't actually sell email addresses or provide any of that information to the brand at all. It's a closed system. So we're kind of like Groupon. We keep the email address and we use the system to email the person in the first place. The interaction isn't for the email address. It's actually for the customer being interested in your product and then using your promotion is really how we position it. So we look at all those things and we put it together, and then you have a choice to ignore or to use. It's not something that you're forced into. In other models, like I'd mentioned about in the Pavlovian sort of model, you have to do something. You have no choice, right? But if you want to, you can avoid it now and you can continue playing whatever you were playing before.
How do you give marketers scale? What if it's a really hard level that no one can get past?
So we actually, I should have mentioned more about the model, but on stage. But there's some secret sauce in what we're doing as well, which is to you, 10,000 points might be the easiest thing that you've ever done, and to me, 10,000 points might be the hardest thing that I've ever done. Does that mean that you're going to get everything? Probably not. So what we created in our model is how we can look at relative skill rather than absolute skill. So little things like that is how our model has its secret sauce and is able to evolve beyond what other people are trying to create as a cookie cutter model and as a system.
Do you think Kiip can evolve beyond games and marketers can, take advantage of this rewards feeling beyond games? You were talking about, how good it feels when someone retweets you, for example. I mean, could you get a reward for other things?
Yeah, so I think at the end of the day, when you look at rewarding and you look at the achievement levels, achievements is a word we use to make it related to games, but the achievement could be anything. It could be, I caught the bus on time, or I got a discount here and there, but these are the things, or I bought something from this place for 10 times. So it's got its roots in loyalty, if I were to sort of expand on it. But I guess I would say to that, and I can't share too much about what we're doing in the future, but it would be a mistake for us not to go beyond just games overall, because we're not exclusive to that. We may position ourselves, at least initially, but we know that there's so much more powerful things we can do outside of it.
The mobile marketplace is evolving very quickly. What is one change that you would like to see that would make your company stronger, would make your daily life easier?
Yeah, so at the end of the day, it's recognition from the marketers that a model that doesn't use a metric that they can select on Dart is something that they can use as well. And that, the success metrics are not defined by their bosses as something that's almost inane. I mean, we're seeing a huge focus on likes, and we're not remembering why that was important in the first place. I think we've moved so quickly to the shiny metal object, and we've forgotten that by doing that, we've lost the purpose of going after those things in the first place.
Great, thank you very much.